Welcome in the DNVR Avalanche post-game show live from the Toyota Winners Lounge, powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships and presented by Bet365. Bailey and Rudo coming to you as the Avs win in overtime. They are allowed to win in overtime. 5-4.
Thank God.
over the Vancouver Canucks. In a game that, maybe you expected some craziness on a SEGABABA, but wow.
Some of that was hard to watch.
There was a lot of bad hockey in this game. And I don't even mean like just the Avs. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of bad hockey from the Avs, but we were halfway through that second period and shots on goal in that period were 2-1. I mean, there was just some bad hockey.
Yeah, no, this is a classic. They're riding the second game. Obviously, they expended a lot more energy than I expected them to in that first game in Edmonton. But oh God, there were some instances in this game that were just difficult.
Yes,
to watch
in many facets. But the Avs won, so all good, I guess.
I guess.
We'll break down both sides of it. I think we'll have a lot to say on the good and the bad side of this game. Let's start that off with a 60-second rundown. Started a little bit weird. Possession at times was a little all over the place, but the Avs score the first two goals of the game, both of them coming from Nathan MacKinnon, picking right where he left off. Not too shabby. They do give one of those goals back pretty quickly on the other end, but the Avs win the first period 2-1. Early in the second period, terrible turnover from Marty Necas makes it a 2-2 game, and you would not see any other goals in the second. Like I said, some bad hockey in there. Third period, all over the place. Leckie scores a goal to give the Avs a lead. The Avs give it back. Leckie scores another goal to give the Avs a lead. Some questionable penalties get called that I'm sure I will talk about. And Vancouver scores a power play goal with less than 5 minutes in the game to tie it up and force the thing to overtime, in which Gavin Brindley, love the trust that he's out there at all in overtime and he plays the hero. The Avs don't put MacKinnon and Necas out together in overtime and they win. Crazy how that works.
Can that be the first thing that we talk about?
Let's talk about it.
That, in overtime, the thing that has bitten you in all of your overtime losses does not happen tonight and you win.
Crazy.
That is
Who thought it was possible?
Insane how that works. No, I want to head back to that trust in Gavin Brindley because I think that is huge in the way that this played out, because there's not many instances where you see a fourth liner earning it.
Yep.
The way that Gavin Brindley earned that ice time in overtime here tonight.
And I do think there's a little serendipity there. Marty Necas was bad pretty much the entire game. Bednar had started shifting Brindley for a few shifts of the top line, even at the start of the third period, end of the second period. So there was a level of Bednar felt like he had to do something, but I love that it was Brindley that he goes with in that situation. He could have easily fallen back on a Nelson Nichushkin. He could have played. He also sent Landy down to the fourth line, so I don't know if he was going to get some OT time, but for it to be Brindley, and well earned, we'll talk about him more in the second period, but growth from Jared Bednar to do that in overtime.
The fact that we're not talking about another insanity conversation, I think, is a win in anybody's book tonight.
Yep.
I don't know. Some of that play from Necas, you're hoping after a game like yesterday where he was a little quiet on the score sheet, he finally gets something on the board. He did come out of it with a point tonight. So there's something to be said about that.
And it was on the fourth goal. You feel like it was an important moment, but
I don't know. But it's situations like that where I'm glad Bednar kind of sat and thought about it and was like, you deserve to lose some ice time with some of the things you showed in today's game. And again, it worked out, obviously, but atrocious game from Martin Necas here tonight.
Yeah. And I can live with bad games. They don't bother me all that much in a vacuum. Everyone has bad games. It's fine. I do really struggle with the goal that comes directly off of his stick against, though.
Yeah.
That's one. It's unfortunately a common error in Marty's game where he just gets too casual with the puck in the defensive zone. It's been a flaw in his game for his entire career.
Yeah.
And maybe a bigger systemic issue of the team tonight than just Marty Necas. A lot of dudes got outworked for a lot of this game by the Vancouver Canucks.
Oh, yeah. And it's something you don't want to see in the second game of a back-to-back, but you're also battling with another team who also has tired legs.
Yeah, right. This is not the Avs are up against it. This should have been an even playing field, and the Avs got... I should say most of the Avs got outworked for a large portion of this game.
Yeah, there's a couple who are in their flowers tonight. I'm sure we'll get way more into that. But yeah, it's hard when, two of your three guys on that top line are outperforming a lot of the other ones. I mean, Nathan MacKinnon, multi-point weekend.
9 points this weekend.
Yeah. Two multi-goal games, which if I'm going to reference the graphic that Altitude put up, has not happened since 2001 in consecutive days. Joe Sakic was the last guy to do it for this Avalanche team.
Crazy.
Insane. But, just goes to show the monster that is Nathan MacKinnon. But Arturi Lehkonen, who has kind of his fluctuations with getting points, has two tonight as well. The only guy missing from that is the guy who just signed a major extension with the team.
Yeah, and again, I don't want to read too much into a night that was bad from Marty. He's fine. He got a point tonight, like you said. This isn't, oh no, the Avs are in trouble because Marty Necas signed his contract and now he's bad. No, that's not what we're talking about.
The first game that he played post-contract signing is, I think, proof of that.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah.
And I said it on the watch along. If Marty Necas chooses to have one of his worst games of the season on a night the Avs won,
yeah, I'm not complaining.
Avs are fine.
Yeah, no. As long as again, don't make a habit of it. But if we see prime Martin Necas in the game on Tuesday, like, I'm not necessarily upset about this game anymore from him.
Yeah, I agree. There's another topic I want to get into that I will get it out of the way because I know a lot of people don't like when we talk about this, and fair enough. I also don't like talking about it, but some nights I feel like I have to.
Okay.
There were 3 teams on the ice tonight, and the Avs beat 2 of them.
Yeah.
The refs were bad.
This is my take, and I think you and I agree on this just based on what I said on the watch along. It comes down to, I don't care if you're calling soft penalties. Right. Like, soft penalties, yeah, it sucks to see it happen. But if that's the way you're calling the game, that's fine. As long as it's called on both sides.
Yep.
If you're calling soft penalties on the Avalanche and that's not going the other way, that is where I have a major problem. And I'm of the mindset that the fact that they are not held accountable for things like this, the fact that you can't talk to officials or the league about this, that referees are so protected within the league for their decisions, pisses me off so badly.
And I could live in a world with this game where before the start of the third period, I would have said, yeah, it was a bad reffing night, whatever, you move on with your life, you get over it. But the call the refs made to give Vancouver the late power play in this game is, I don't understand.
You missed that call earlier in the game.
You were 4 feet away from Gabe Landeskog, who took that exact cross check in the offensive zone, and you didn't call it.
Not to mention, like, earlier in the third period as well. Again, 4 feet from behind Vancouver's net, and something's missed.
You set a precedent and you didn't stick to it, like you were saying. Consistency is all I want there. Mm-hmm. And you directly affected the course of this game by being wildly inconsistent with your calls.
Yeah.
Do better.
I don't. I feel like I have no words, but at the same time, I have like all of them, and there's so many things I want to say. It's just you have to do better. You have it. You can't call games like this consistently, or else I mean, I just think back to last playoffs too, where calls were kind of out of control, and this is becoming a systemic issue.
Yep.
In the league, it's not just the Avs. Here's what, like, it's teams around the league that are dealing with the same issue too, and I'm like, it doesn't make any lick of sense to me.
It's just bad. It has to get better at a certain. And again, we're not asking for perfect games. We understand refs are human beings and they get calls wrong.
Yeah,
but there's no world where you set the precedent in a game for what's being called, and then you change it randomly with 5 minutes left in a game. It's specific. Like, I don't know what Gabe Landeskog is supposed to do there.
Even he looks confused.
Right,
like, this is
he's going to that ref and saying, "I talked to you about this at the end of the second period. The exact call that I wanted, you didn't give me, and you just called it against me." How do you play hockey as an NHL player when you don't understand what the rules are? It makes it too difficult.
I have no clue.
All right, we got that out of the way. I won't talk about the refs the rest of the night. All right, we'll move on. While I do think a significant portion of the Avs got outworked tonight, did they still get the resilience check mark? They do ultimately pull this game out. They technically never trailed, even if they did blow 3 different leads.
I'm kind of the mindset, like, if you're the kind of team that can push to overtime, I feel like that overtime extra point automatically gives you that resilience check mark. Okay. It might have looked really ugly for a good portion of that game, but you at least get a point out of it. True. And that's the kind of team that even Gabe Landeskog have said, like, we want to be known as this, but also, like, 1 point can't just be good enough. And they went and showed that in spades today.
It worked. You get 4 points of 4 points from a back-to-back. While we will pick more negatives out of this game for the Avs, I don't know how you're mad about them.
No.
A team that found a way to win. And were portions of this game about as bad as the Avs have played this year? Sure.
Yeah.
So what?
No. I feel like that's exactly right. If you can say it, we're saying so what after a win.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what we're taking out of this. Though I feel like some of this was due. They had a great game yesterday. There was hardly any negative to talk about there. That kind of all came to play out today. They were a team that was surviving, but a team that fought against all odds to come and get 2 points out of this.
Yeah, and they got it. And did they make it harder than it needed to be at sometimes? Probably.
It's expected when your legs are that tired. You're playing on the second game of a back-to-back. You've got a goaltender who has only played 2 games this season, kind of fighting for his life back there. And again, you come out of it on the positive side of things.
You bring up the goalie. Let's get into that. What did you think of Blackwood tonight?
I don't know. There are some of those where I'm like, he might want that one a little bit, but I'm also more inclined to say the Avs were not doing him any favors back there. No. Little sporadic rebounds were a little rough for me to watch tonight. Yep. But overall, I didn't think it was a horrible game. It was not a horrible showing. You know,
he's going to end up with an under 900, which you don't love to see, but I don't know. Maybe the third one, just because in his other game, you saw him get beat high glove a couple times too, and he gets beat high glove again on that one. You don't love, but the other ones, I don't know how much more you can ask of him. And I thought he was tracking the puck very, very well tonight. Mm-hmm. So
I will say, like, despite what the score sheet and what the stat sheet says about him tonight, like, I do feel like this was a step up from his last game.
I would agree with that for sure. Yeah. I think he was better than his first.
He's definitely trending upward, which is, again, all you can ask from a guy who did not have the start to the season that he might have wanted.
Yeah. Hopefully this is viewed by the Avs as a step in the right direction, and they can get him starting a little bit more regularly there. We do need to take our first break of the show here, as we are brought to you by the fantastic folks over at Dick's Sporting Goods. You can stop by your local Dick's for the hottest apparel out there. Footwear from top brands like Nike, Adidas, Originals, FP Movement, VRST, Calia. More than that, too. You can even get DNVR merch at your local Dick's if you're here in the Front Range. So go check them out. Go find some DNVR merch. Maybe get a little 8-bit MacKinnon. I don't know. You can't really see it behind my mic, but you can find that DNVR stuff at your local Dick's. Of course, you can also get the latest equipment for pretty much all of the sports and even all your tailgating essentials. So go to Dick's. If you find gear at a lower price somewhere else, they even have a best price guarantee. Get your gear fast with free curbside pickup at your nearest store or easy shipping from Dicks.com, because every season starts at Dick's. And once you've got your Dick's Sporting Goods gear, make sure you're also treating your stomach. I would say it's safe to say this game got a little spicy at times.
Yeah.
If you like your wings a little bit spicy, go to Fire on the Mountain. It's Denver's favorite local wing joint. They've got the all-natural wings. You get 15 super different, flavorful, scratch-made sauces, all the way from mild to insanely hot and everything in between. Incredible craft beer is also on the menu there. $5 beers on Mondays, and all-day happy hour Tuesdays. Jump in. Again, Fire on the Mountain, an official green restaurant. They've got vegan options, awesome patios to sit out on and enjoy your wings. Again, if you're into that capsaicin thing, they have the spices that I don't touch. I'm soft. Give me the mild, which is delicious, by the way, if you want to go that way. Grab $5 pints on Mondays. Again, all day happy hour on Tuesdays. And they now offer delivery from their Wash Park store. Try the best wings in Denver at DNVR Broncos tailgates, too. The next one coming up, they'll have Fire on the Mountain wings if you want to give them a shot, or visit their spots in the Highlands and Wash Park. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. Do we have the 3 stars? Let's hit the 3 stars first then. Star number 3 of this game, and I think there are, at least to me, 3 clearly distinct guys that should be on the 3 stars, whatever order you want to put them in, fair enough. But I put Artturi Lehkonen as star number 3. He scores 2 huge goals, probably deserved to score a game winner in that third period, showed up when the Avs needed some juice. And this is probably a little bit on the harsh side, but if I'm being honest, I think there were only 2 players on the Avalanche that consistently outworked the Vancouver Canucks for the majority of this game, and Artturi Lehkonen was one of them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, his third period performance alone, I think, kind of capitalizes that. He gave this team a chance to win it. I'll go ahead and bring it up. The power play. Yep. Again, scored 2 goals, and his was one of them.
It was good tonight.
It was maybe not good consistently throughout the night, but his was, I think, incredible. You get an opportunity to capitalize, convert, and give your team a chance to, win this thing, even if it doesn't go to overtime. That, again, we say what we can about that Vancouver power play, but Artturi Lehkonen was one of the most noticeable guys on the ice.
Fully agree on that. Yeah, the power play did give up a shorthanded goal, but maybe steps. If you're going to give up a shorthanded goal, score 2 power play goals, all right?
That's the step to consistency. I'm okay with that.
You can live with some weirdness if stuff is moving in the right direction like that.
Right.
Lecky just Mr. Consistency when it comes to the work ethic, and good to see him get rewarded with some nice points, some really good plays. He puts himself in the right spots, and it works.
Yep.
Star number 2, and I do not blame you if you put him at star number 1. Nathan MacKinnon has a 5-point night. That is, the Avs scored 5 goals. Nathan MacKinnon was involved in all of them. Now, to be fair, his assist in overtime was leave the puck to Kale and go change, and he still picked up the secondary. But that is the reason why Nathan MacKinnon is considered a top 3 player in the NHL is because of nights like this.
Oh, no, he's a monster. I don't know how else to put it for a guy like Nathan MacKinnon. He's shown that he's the difference maker for this team.
Yep.
A guy who gets the momentum going early with 2 goals in the first period. Another hat trick written out of the script for him. Second hat trick taken away from him in 2 nights. Call that what you will. But again, there is something to be said about early starts, and MacKinnon kind of spearheading the start of that and leading the charge there. And again, there is something to be said about the fact that he was involved in quite literally everything.
All of them.
That went in a positive direction for the Avalanche here tonight.
It's when you look at the lack of hat trick, of course you want one for the Avs. Hat tricks are cool moments, all of that. Nathan MacKinnon's the leading goal scorer in the NHL right now. And we're like, man, he probably could have had one or two more to get to that one of those hat tricks.
That's a crazy sentiment to have. But it's true.
Yep.
Again, and there's no conversation here in my mind. I know it's very early on in the season, but he's proving that he is one of, if not the best player in the NHL. I don't know how that's not a conversation in anybody's mind right now, especially after a performance like this.
He had 9 points this weekend, and McDavid had 1. I know I'm cheating with that, but
I mean, again, fair part of the conversation, though.
Yeah.
If you're talking about two leaders of their respective teams, and Nathan MacKinnon is, without a doubt, no questions asked, leading that conversation.
And all of that, your top line gives you 4 goals in regulation. It's not enough to get it done. And who is the hero of this game but Gavin Brindley? And obviously the overtime winner is awesome. Great moment. That's the type of thing that he's going to remember for the rest of his career. The superstar moment in the NHL for Gavin Brindley. But this game is so much more than that for him, right?
No, this is a guy who, by all means, looking at the stat sheet for regulation, is somebody who is like, oh, he wasn't huge out there. Yeah. Like this isn't a guy I'm keeping my eye on. But to anybody who watched this game,
he was everywhere.
Was everywhere. Aside from Arturi Lehkonen, this guy easily outworked every single other guy on the ice, regardless of what jersey you are wearing.
Yep.
And this just goes back to what I've said all season, what Jared Bednar has mentioned. I'm sorry if I'm glazing him at this point. I will never stop talking about this kid just because of how much drive and how much work he puts in, night out on this team. He deserved every single minute of ice time he got. And I mean, you and I were saying it during heading into overtime. If anybody deserves to get the win for this team, it is Gavin Brindley.
It was him tonight.
I don't know how you send him back down.
You can't. The conversation is done.
Yeah.
Sorry, Zakhar Bardakov, but when LOC comes back, it's you. It's not Brindley, man.
Yeah. I don't know how that is even a conversation.
Yep.
So
he has earned a full-time NHL job at this point. That there's no argument there. And
is it safe to say the Avalanche won that trade?
So how do you feel about Charlie Coyle? Did they win it long-term? 1,000%. Yeah. 2 years from now, there is zero doubt the Avs will have won that trade. In the moment, I think you could make an argument that Charlie Coyle is a better player today. The conversation is a little more complicated than that because Charlie Coyle is being paid a lot of money to be a 3C, then realistically that's what his role would have been in Colorado. Right. So from that aspect of it, the Avs saved a ton of money and they're getting a quality player out of it. You could make an argument that the Avs have already won that trade. And at the end of the day, if that's a
long-term result of that, though, I'm happy, I think. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Regardless of how you feel of whether they won it at this second or not, I don't know how you're not in love with the concept of the trade with what Brindley has done, with the work ethic, with a guy who just will not quit. And he's now shown up and scored goals in back-to-back games. Is Gavin Brindley a top-line player? No. I know he got some shifts up there and well-deserved, but I hate to temper expectations a little bit, but the reality is this guy is going to continue to play in your bottom six and realistically your fourth line for the rest of the season. But it's great to know you have that in the bag.
I mean, if that's what you're getting out of your fourth line guy, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's fun.
I'll take
we
it.
have to play him on the fourth line. Darn.
No, and that just goes to prove, I mean, we talk about depth all the time. And this is just another prime example of the depth that this team possesses down all 4 lines. If we're sitting here glazing a guy on the 4th line for producing and working as hard as he does.
And you've created a situation that's actually going to become fascinating for the Avs. Because Parker Kelly's going to move back to center, which, fine. Obviously, we all like him better as a wing, but you have to do what you have to do. But then what happens if Kivi Ranta gets healthy? I guess Kivi Ranta's your 13th forward at that point?
I don't understand how he's not.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's hard to judge what he was able to do through the games that he played so far. But before he got injured, I didn't love him in the lineup. He was the
offense was pretty non-existent. Yeah.
He was kind of a non-factor. And I understand, again, he had a career season last season. He earned every cent in that paycheck that he got, every cent of that raise. But given how this team is performing, the way that they are firing on all cylinders, I don't know how you mess any of that up.
I agree.
Trying to fit Kivi Ranta back in that.
Yeah, I don't think you can. Now, Kivi Ranta might not be back for a while, and who knows what things look like in December or whatever.
Right.
But from where it stands, Gavin Brindley is the man. That's all there is to that conversation.
He's earned it.
Do we want to read too much into the blending?
I don't know. I'm inclined not to. It's not uncommon to see from Bednar, especially in third periods where they're, surviving the way that the Avalanche were.
Certainly the Natchez Brindley thing is very clearly a you're playing the hot hand thing to me. I'm not overthinking that one at all.
No.
I am curious on the Landeskog side of that, though. He gets dropped down to the 4th line, and obviously you're doing to some extent, just moving stuff around, trying to find something that works. But Landy really had his TOI cut in this game, especially in late second and third periods. Is that something to read into? Is that Landy still on a bit of a pitch clock in a back-to-back situation? Is that just what happened in the moment?
Landeskog's kind of, unfortunately, with the way that he's playing right now, and this is not the knock on him that this is going to sound like, but it's almost kind of like one of those sacrificial pieces, unfortunately. Sure. Like, his game is not where he wants it to be. I'm sure Bednar is expecting him to kind of find that later down the season. Again, game, 16? I don't think he's in any rush. Like, yes, obviously you'd like to find it sooner rather than later. That's what I think the result of this is just, Landeskog is not quite there yet. They're trying to find a spark from anywhere, and unfortunately, if that's what you need to get a spark from the guys who are playing a hot game for you right now, I don't think Landy's exactly complaining. Like, if that's what the team needs to do, he's the captain for a reason. There's a reason he earned that C. He's got the mindset to be that player for the Avs, and that's just kind of how the cookie crumbled at that point.
I really don't know how to feel about this. Am I being overly critical of this? Is this blending a result of a second period where the Avs were getting dominated? Again, yes, the Avs were on a SEGABABA. Yes, they had tired legs, but so did Vancouver. There really shouldn't be an excuse for the Avs to get the run over the way they did in that second period as far as the pace of play and the possession and the way things shook out. Am I too focused on that being a negative and should be more focused on the positive of, actually, it turns out the entire Avs lineup is just flexible and you can play anyone with anyone and it's great?
I mean, having that versatility certainly doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
So I think that's an upside to it. But again, I go back to Bednar needed to find a spark from somewhere.
Yep.
Right. And I guess there's something to be said about, this team, the lines, the way they were constructed, the chemistry that you're hoping to build between line mates obviously wasn't working. Like, something was not gelling there. The chemistry was a little off.
For sure.
In a lot of aspects. And you find that. And I think that versatility is great. But it's more so, I think, again, things just are not working. You got to
do something. Yeah.
Got to find a spark from somewhere. And it certainly doesn't hurt
to
shuffle things around.
The Avs have that flexibility. And a couple of more angles I want to get to here on some specific guys that we'll talk about. But before we do that, we do need to take another break to shout out some more sponsors, as we love our sponsors over here. And we are brought to you by the fantastic folks over at Game Time. You want to go get yourself tickets to watch these wild Avs play? You can do it with Game Time. Sign up with code DNVR on the app and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. Of course, terms do apply, but get that $20 off and get a bunch of other great deals with Game Time, whether it be their last minute ticket deals, section selector, or just search for the tickets you're looking for. And the Game Time Picks feature will filter out all of the junk and you will get the best price for your tickets out there. Fees are included in their price too. So it's an all-in price. When Game Time shows you the price, that is what the price is. There's no surprises at checkout with them. Again, tons of different ways to save money. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Use that DNVR code on the app to get $20 off your first purchase. Tap Ticket Go. Download the Game Time app today. And then, if you got to get to the game, make sure you're getting with the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche, which is Toyota. You can jump in with Toyota today. They've got a vehicle for everyone, whether it be trucks, SUVs, sedans, 17 different models with all or four-wheel drive. So I know it hasn't snowed yet in Denver, but it's coming. Believe me, it's going to come, and you're going to want that four-wheel drive on the roads to make sure you're locked in and good to go. 16 different vehicles with low or zero emissions. They make more than anybody else out there combined. So jump in with that if you're trying to save a little bit of money on your commute. You can visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you, including AutoNation Toyota Rapo in Centennial, Corbin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mount States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, the official vehicle of not just us at DNVR, but the Colorado Avalanche too. Toyota, let's go places. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. And I also wanted to get in, before we jump into some of these other specifics, checking the stat sheet with Dick's Sporting Goods. There are a lot of stats you could get into tonight on this one, but I think maybe the most interesting one of the night is not all the scoring, not the power play, not the special teams. When you look at the time on ice distribution tonight, Nathan MacKinnon, 20 minutes, barely, including an overtime shift. Nate just under 20. Third most time on ice in the Avs forward core is Jack Drury at 18 minutes. And this is what I'm talking about with that flexibility. Brock Nelson was cut all the way down to 14 minutes and 31 seconds. And you can take an approach to this where maybe you want more out of Brock Nelson. Maybe you want more out of that second line, although Nichushkin is a guy we're going to talk about who gave you a pretty good game tonight, I think. But the conversation with the Avs third line has been so good that we're drifting into a territory where functionally the Avs third line might just be their second line some nights.
Yeah, which is a really difficult conversation to have for me, I think. From a salary standpoint, I guess I'll start first off. You're talking about a Brock Nelson who's being paid.
Yeah.
To be your
and he needs to produce more. Absolutely.
Yes. But functionally, I think chemistry alone puts this third line in a league of its own.
Yep.
If it's just the middle six we're talking about.
Sure.
Like I love the way that they have gelled so far. I hashed out all of my Jack Drury smarts yesterday, so I'll leave that conversation alone. But no, the way that they've been gelling, the way things have been kind of clicking for that line functionally, the way that they move across the ice, it's hard to not sit there and say like that team's that line has earned every little bit of trust that Jared Bednar has given to them on the ice. Yeah.
And Jack Drury didn't produce a point tonight, but goes even at 5-on-5, plays those 18 minutes, did a ton of penalty killing for you.
Face-off.
Was horrible in the face-off.
Numbers were not great.
Every Av not named Nathan MacKinnon was horrible in the face-off. Bartikov went 50%. Nelson was only a little under 50. Weird face-off night.
Yeah.
Put it to you that way.
No.
Not a stat I'm worried about. The time on ice is the more interesting one. On the backside of that, Cale Makar popped right up to 27 minutes tonight, as you expect.
Are we surprised?
No, not even a little bit on that one. Makar also picked up a couple of assists, including an easy one on the game winner, but he did get one there. Wow, those are gigantic cups.
Well, the other ones I was spilling everywhere, so.
Okay. So you put together a game where you're like, oh, well, Natchez was actually pretty bad. Landeskog didn't play a ton. Maybe your traditional second line wasn't good, but you got a good game out of your functional second line and your third line. Olofsson picked up a point tonight. You find ways to be effective when there are issues in your game. And I think this is part of something that the Avs have done a lot this year, especially in a lot of their overtime losses. They've had issues that they've found ways to be effective. But does it feel a little bit different because they got this game over the hump?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a fair outlook to have. I feel like any situation, like this was a really, really big obstacle that the Avalanche just could not get past. One of the only teams left in the league without a win in overtime, which was for a team that is
playing the most overtime.
Right. Not only playing the most overtimes, but the best team in the league.
True. Also true.
Like that, it's a weird, quirky thing.
Yep.
And that's something could maybe still call quirky, just given statistically their success in overtimes or anything past regulation. But that's something that they can finally check off as being like something that they have solved.
True.
Wonder if that gives, this was kind of, I don't know if I would call this night an anomaly for a guy like Gavin Brindley. But again, you try something different in overtime and it works. And it just seems like of the things that did not go right for this Colorado Avalanche team tonight, like that's the one big draw to take out of it for me. I don't know.
On a game with issues, we talk so much about the first 20 games about tightening the screws. It did feel like some screws got tightened tonight with you get an OT win. You learn your forward core a little bit better to not make the MacKinnon-Natchez mistake in overtime. Your power play scores twice against a bad power penalty kill. You'd also give up a shorty. I'm not saying they've solved it. That's not what I'm saying, but you are in a situation where the power play you feel better about. They scored big goals for you. They scored, honestly, both of the power play goals looked good in a sense of, yes, they're nice plays, but the Avs didn't try to make the perfect play to get these results.
They're getting into dirty areas. Their power play doesn't look one-dimensional, which I think was the biggest thing for me. Like, it's not as easily telegraphed. They're making those dirty plays. They're trying to find the middle of the ice. They're not just a perimeter passing team anymore on the power play, which is huge. And this is the thing that we were talking about with the power play and being like, ideally, this is a team that should be producing every night or at least every other night on the power play. Like, this is a power play that should be producing consistently. Yes, the shorty's not great, but
the shorty in a lot of ways gets lumped into Marty Natchez's bad game for me because it only happens because Natchez is late to the wall, doesn't get to the puck, and puts himself in a position where it becomes a really bad decision. If he wasn't going to get there and he backs off, it's a clean 2-on-2. You're fine. If he's going to go for it and he gets there, it's a great keep and you keep yourself in the zone, but he misses it and it creates a disaster.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I'm choosing to take this as if we're looking at small victories out of a survival game.
Yes.
For this Colorado Avalanche team, like that is one of mine. Is the power play looks dangerous, in almost every single facet of it. Like they have looked at what went wrong between their hot start and now and fixed it.
Yep.
That's all I can ask.
I do think there are some other stuff I want to talk about, but we are over 100 likes. We got some winner shots to do. We do appreciate you, chat.
Cheers.
If there's 400 of you in here, you can get some more likes. But Dr. Dubs, get some emojis in the chat from our supporters club. We appreciate y'all.
There we go.
So, I think it is worth noting. Look, when everyone on your team plays great, you beat Edmonton 9-1, and it's awesome, and everyone has a fun time. But the reality of normal NHL games is you're going to have some guys playing well, you're going to have some guys playing not super well, and when you find ways to win those games where some guys are making mistakes that are costing you, the Avs are great. That is a sign of a great team, is when you can win games like this one. And you're not going to win every night when it looks like this, but the Avs found a way.
And it comes back again to that conversation of resilience, right? And being that, this is a team that maybe did not look their best.
Yep.
But they came out of it on the other side against a team that, maybe also didn't look great, but definitely looked better.
Yep.
For most of the game. And that, I think, is a really defining trait of this Colorado Avalanche team. The fact that they can pull things like that out of their bag of tricks and fight and survive long enough to create your best opportunity to find a way to win.
Yep. It's not always the simple path.
No.
And the Avs have done a really good job of finding the path in games like this one. That, yeah, you don't love that they couldn't close it out in regulation. Yeah, you don't love any of that second period, to be honest. But good that the Avs understand, we had a bad period. The game's over. Let's give up. Let's collapse. I think we had seen some of that in the last couple of years from this Colorado Avalanche team, and we've seen pretty much none of that this year.
Yeah. The question I want to pose, and it might sound like a stupid question, but we've talked consistently about this team stacking points, right? And being the resilient team to push to overtime and at least grab a point out of it. Is there something to be said about the points that they're also leaking in that case too? Like, not only are they like both teams on each side of the ice are getting a point out of it, regardless of who wins the overtime.
Maybe you can have that conversation with the Dallas game, with the Utah game. Sure, a divisional opponent.
Yeah.
You want to talk about, hey, those are 4-point games. Hey, you would love to really bury those teams in regulation. But both of those games, I think, were more of the hard-fought. The Avs were the team that got a point leaked to them, maybe. I don't care at all if the Avs give a point to Vancouver. I'm not worried. That is much more about the opponent than it's going to vary depending on who you're playing.
Fair.
A win's a win at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's positive that they were not the team with just one.
Right.
Tonight. So I think that's
worry about winning, not how you get the win.
Right. There we go.
If your win costs a point to the other team, a lot better than losing.
Yeah. No, and if that's the habit this Avs team can start to get into as well. Like, I like this win a whole lot more.
Yep.
After the fact.
Same. And I don't think that I was going to be ever too upset with this game once it got to overtime. 3 out of 4 points on a back-to-back is a win every single time. A 750
You're
points
beating
percentage.
all of the obstacles in front of you that, more than one situation was trying to put in front of you.
But having 4 out of 4, it feels good. It feels good.
Yeah, that's, again, I mean, you and I talked about it earlier, this schedule is rough.
It is.
The Avalanche, like, regardless of opponent, like not even like talking
just
about
the
opponents,
travel,
but the travel,
the daily,
and the situations,
the
the severe amount of back-to-backs that this team is facing in such a short amount of time. Like, it's not an easy schedule for anyone. Like, I mean, yes, the Avalanche are the top team in the league, but I mean, San Jose, if they were facing, like, it would be difficult for anybody in their position.
Yep.
The fact that they've gotten as many points out of the back-to-backs that they have, I think, is a win in and of itself. But going perfect on this one feels a little sweeter.
It does. We are 16 games into the season. Out of a possible 32 points, the Avs have dropped 7.
Yeah.
Bordering on playing 800 hockey to start the season. Huge. Team is massive.
If you had told that to me a year ago,
wouldn't have believed you.
I would not have believed one word coming out of your mouth.
It's still only 16 games. I'm trying really, really hard to not go full homer and drink the Kool-Aid, but last year it didn't feel like this.
No.
Year before didn't feel like this.
No.
There's something extra with the Avs this year. And I'm not saying, oh, they're the team of destiny. They're going to win the cup. I don't know that. I hope they do. Mm-hmm. But it does feel like this team has a little bit of that extra sauce.
Yeah. I don't know. Last year's trade deadline was a turning point, I think, of sorts for this. Not just the team, but just the culture in Colorado as a whole around the team. Is that this is a team that wants to extend their window as long as possible to give this team a fighting chance. And this is, I mean, the Avs are lucky in that they've won a cup recently.
Yep.
But since then, it's looked a little rough for the squad in playoffs. And this feels like the closest they have been to looking like the team that's going to go and do it all. And again, 16 games. It's really hard to like kind of rein it in a little bit, but I'll repeat what I said yesterday. It's hard not to be romantic about the way that this team is playing and how they're approaching the season so far.
Yep. It's crazy. Yeah. GX in the Toyota chat, 14 goals in essentially 26 and a half hours. It's a good stretch of hockey. It's a good stretch of hockey.
Unfathomable to me. That is a stat that does not quite compute in my brain.
I did want to get back to Nathan MacKinnon's 5 points too here, because the best players on the planet make everyone around them better. And the list of players that picked up a point alongside Nathan MacKinnon, and some are more than 1 point, but Nathan MacKinnon picked up a point on a play with other teammates that include Nichushkin, Makar, Olofsson, Lehkonen, Necas, and Brindley. Yeah. Pretty much everyone on the team that played with him figured it out. Even Marty Necas got a point in this game by playing with Nathan MacKinnon.
I feel like that's the trait of a superstar, though, right?
It is. It absolutely is.
Looking at, he can be the monster that he is, but he's also going to make every single guy around him look incredible as well. And I mean, not just tried. I don't know if he was trying to look bad, but he looked bad tonight. But again, to still get what he got out of it tonight, like, we're calling this a bad night for Martin Necas, who still got a point.
Yep.
And that, just again, going back to Nathan MacKinnon, like that's trait of a superstar. I don't know how you look at that any differently.
Your floor can't be a black hole. It's got to be at least decent, especially when you're getting high ice time like a Martin Necas. But you move beyond that. In some ways, I think he got lost in this game because both of Nichushkin's points came pretty early in this game. He has multiple assists. The first Nathan MacKinnon goal is far more Val's play than it is MacKinnon. MacKinnon basically had an open net to shoot it into. Val was one of your best possession players in this game, too. I do think he had gone a little bit quiet over this last stretch, but that's a guy that's always lurking for the Colorado Avalanche. He's part of the reason you have that flexibility. Val took shifts with the top line tonight. Val took shifts with the third line tonight. I appreciate what you are watching from the Colorado Avalanche this year. Yeah. Because there are not a lot of teams that have the depth that a team like the Colorado Avalanche has.
No. This is a fun era, and not just like I'll shout out, our other beats as well, but this is a fun era of Denver sports in general. Yep. Where 3 of the 4 major sports teams are leading their respective leagues, or at least dang near close to it. But I don't know. This being an Avalanche podcast, like it's very hard to not be happy with almost every single thing you're seeing. From the Avalanche are earning it, and they're playing really pretty hockey in most games. And the games that they're not playing pretty hockey, they're resilient enough to at least make something positive of it.
Yeah. There's too much good to get hung up on the bad with the Colorado Avalanche right now, which we'll keep my mouth shut about the Broncos and the vibes I'm getting from them. But compare the Broncos vibes where they're squeaking out wins. The Avs squeak one out tonight? Yeah, but this has not been the norm. This is yet another way that the Avs find a way to get the job done.
Yeah. No, it's hard to be unhappy.
It is. If you're unhappy with the Avs on a 3-game winning streak and are the best team in the NHL, maybe
I don't know what to tell you.
Maybe Avs fandom isn't for you. Like, fan how you want to fan, but if you're not happy now, you may never be happy watching hockey.
And again, I understand the conversation if it is still relatively early, but
of course,
given what is happening currently, given the way that they're playing and the sustainability at which, I mean, I wasn't necessarily a part of it, but we just had our frauds and whatever pod.
Frauds and gods.
This Avalanche team doesn't fit into the fraud conversation at all.
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
Like, it's not as though they're playing like they. I mean, we could talk. I mean, God level, okay. Yeah. No, but this is a team that the kind of hockey that they are playing is something that is sustainable through 82 games. Yeah. And it has to do with the personnel, the depth, the star power on all parts of it, like down across all 200 feet. Like this is a really deep team and a really good team when you consider the top end talent.
It's those underlying sustainable numbers, right? Obviously, they're not going to score 9 goals every night, but we also went through a stretch of this season already where I was like, wow, we would really like the Avs to finish a little bit more when they're losing games 2-3 to San Jose and the puck's not going in. This is kind of the course correction there. 5 is a lot of goals tonight. I think Kevin Lehkonen was in a tough spot having to start both ends of a back-to-back, and the Avs took a little bit of an advantage of that, but good. When teams give you openings, exactly. And the Avs did that tonight. Gavin Brindley, maybe most of all, on that overtime winner, where he gets to his own rebound and makes it work.
Talk about drive.
Yeah, it's good. And for as poor as some of the portions of this game were for the Colorado Avalanche, at the end of this game, which for the vast majority of it was a 1-goal game or tied, there was the Avs were up for 2 by a little bit. At 5-on-5, the Avs had the better of possession in this game. Actual shots, the Avs had the better at 5-on-5. Penalty kill got shellacked a little bit, but honestly survived. You give up that late one, but you're 1 for 5 on your PK is fine. I don't have a problem there. Scoring chances, 24-23, pretty high octane. Actual high dangers, 14-10 in the Avs' favor.
Yeah.
That's a team we're nitpicking for. They lacked effort. It's a team we're nitpicking for. Some guys really struggled tonight. And they're still pretty positive on a lot of the 5-on-5 metrics.
Yeah.
How do you stop them? How do you stop them?
When the team is firing on all cylinders the way that they are, I mean, talk about 5-on-5 underlying numbers. You talk about the power play finally getting going. You talk about the penalty kill being as dangerously good as it is. And you're getting Mackenzie Blackwood back. Yeah.
Which we're expecting to move in the right direction.
Yeah.
Tonight was step 1, and there's a lot more steps for Blackwood to get to. It's really good. All of it is really, really good. We do have, I think, a few super chats to get to here, and then we can move into some of our final thoughts on the show. $2 from Connor, who says, here to say GG from Vancouver. Much love to my guy, Lanky.
Connor, appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. That's your homies, right?
Yeah.
There you go. I don't know.
Shout out to the squad.
I could live in Vancouver. I'm not rich enough to live in Vancouver, but I could.
Enough, yeah. It's pretty. It's pretty.
5 euros, 5 pounds. I can't tell what the symbol is. Euros from Timo, who says back-to-back and all but 88 on first line is still not great. Should shoot more than he is. 88 and not starting overtime, I feel, was just byproduct of Blendar. Yeah, the right decision. And again, this is not a knock on Marty. I don't think this is not the Avs are changing things up. This is Gavin Brindley was the hot hand. Marty Necas was struggling tonight. Bednar made the decision and it paid off. And Necas will come back on Tuesday and score 2 goals or whatever it is, and he'll still be a really good player.
Yeah.
recognize the game you're in. Go with the guys who are going to help you win. And it wasn't Marty Necas tonight.
I'm not quick to say that Bednar has finally learned from his bad decisions because knowing how stubborn this coach is, I mean, I don't want to be that naive and going to say that just yet, but this does seem like a step in the right direction in saying, like, this, we know what works. Brindley earned his ice time, but even without that, like, he played really responsibly in 3-on-3. And this is not a knock to say that Martin Necas is not a competent OT guy. Again, we
MacKinnon and Necas together doesn't work.
Does not work. I fully expect to see Necas back out on the ice next time the Avalanche are in a 3-on-3 situation, as long as he doesn't have like a horrible game and gets benched. But this is still this seems like a step in the right direction for this overtime. And Necas unfortunately was the odd man out with the way Brindley was playing.
You know how look, I've been a stubborn guy in my life too. So I think I understand the feeling that Jared Bednar might have gotten in this game where obviously the power plays with MacKinnon and Necas together were a disaster. So there's a little bit of, I'm going to throw Gavin Brindley out there because fine. Like, fine. I'll do this. Fine.
Like, again, though, how do you not?
Right. And then it works, right? And that, if as a stubborn person, when it works, you're like, all right, maybe I was wrong about this. Like,
sucks to admit.
At a certain point, you have to admit it. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, that feels... I can't speak for Jared Bednar, obviously, but I imagine that being wrong about that and it working has to be like a bit of an eye-opener.
Yeah, exactly.
In a way. Like down the road.
For sure. $2 from Ryan. East Coast gang. No, don't need sleep. What's that? Yeah, you guys are down bad.
That's crazy.
Between you and our Euros, the sleep schedules it's over for you. It's ruined.
Insane. Yeah, that I will say, being a former East Coaster, I don't miss those hockey start times at all.
You're working the late hours, but you're not in bed at 4 a.m.
Yeah. That's rough, buddy.
Meanwhile, I will be in bed at 4 a.m. I got to go do video editing.
That makes one of us.
Yeah, that's always been my life. I have backward schedule. It's how you live.
Fair.
Look, the Colorado Avalanche are the best team in the NHL. And to some extent, you can say, yeah, that papers over some mistakes that you don't want to let fester. But also, you just don't have that many mistakes if you're the best team in the NHL.
No.
The Avs have lost 1 point in their last 6 games. And those games include a 4-goal win, an 8-goal win, and some grindy ones against Vegas, against Tampa Bay, against Vancouver.
We're talking about a team just very recently that had a 4-game losing streak.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah.
3 of those were in OT, but yeah.
But again, you get 3 points out of those. There's only 1 that you lose in regulation, which, again, we talk about traits of superstars, of, culture. That is a trait of, and I don't want to get ahead of the ball here, but that is the trait of a championship team.
Yep.
A team that they're not going to give you a lot, but they can recover well, and the resilience, the way that they've worked, it's incredible to watch. It's incredible to be a part of. It's knowing that they are capable of this makes me terrified.
Yeah. Team's good.
And like in the best way possible.
No, exactly.
So
a good point from Bobby in the Toyota chat there. Shout out to Jared Bednar. 400 wins in the NHL.
Okay.
Pretty good. Pretty good at the coaching thing.
Pretty good. Seems like the understatement of a century for a guy like Jared Bednar. I don't know.
In his first season, he barely won 20.
Yeah. Which, again, that's kind of a full circle moment here, too. Looking at the start that Jared Bednar had with this team versus where he's gotten. I have a special privilege of being able to see the impact that he has on these guys up close.
Yep.
The respect that he commands in the locker room. And we talk about that all the time, the way that the players look up to him, but the relationship that he's built with them and the culture that he's created in that locker room. There's a lot of people, the Fire Bednar conversations come up more often than I personally think they should. You're talking about a guy who has earned every single positive that has come out of this team. He's fostered that. He's created this culture. He's created a locker room full of respect and leadership, and allowing this team to grow the way that it has into the team that it is today it's remarkable.
Yeah, it's special. Like I said, appreciate it while it's happening with the Avs right now, because they're awesome. It's great to watch. It's great to be a part of. It's all good. Any final thoughts, Bailey, before we wrap this thing up? It is tomorrow again.
It'll be nice to be back home on Tuesday.
It will be. It will be. It feels like there's been a lot of travel. I know they've played a decent amount of home games, but we talk about that. You play one home game and you travel again. It's just another stop on the trip.
No, it'll be nice to have a couple at home. My favorite theme night of the year is coming up later this week, too, so I'm very excited about that. But no, it'll be nice to be back home for a little bit.
It's all sitting pretty in Avs land. They get a well-earned day off tomorrow. We are taking the day off tomorrow, so we will see you Tuesday for that game. We do appreciate y'all. This has been the DNVR Avalanche postgame show presented by Bet365, and we'll see you on the next one.
We all silly like the mayor.